All right, hey guys. I apologize if my voice sounds a little funny or if I cough or anything. I'm unfortunately sick, so I'm bored and just trying to play around with some stocks and stuff. So I wanted to show you some really interesting stuff I've discovered about how they work. And so this is kind of going further upon the Michael S. Jenkins square of 9 integers resquared methods, but now we're going to try it day trading. Okay, so I'm going to show you that you could use it for day trading as well. In the last video, I said it wouldn't work as well on futures because futures are they're an average. It's a huge basket of stocks averaged to based on their strength as a company. And so when you're going off a bunch of averages, it's going to get a little bit more chaotic, right? But when you're focusing on a specific company, it's going to be very, very accurate. And I'm going to show you that it can even be accurate day trading. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same method, okay? But we're going to use it in terms of in increments of time that will be within the same day. And I'm going to show you how using hours is one of the most powerful ways to make price work. And so based on the price level this stock is at and what it would take to get it to an amount of hours that's within the same trading day, it's not going to be a 10% shift. It's actually going to be a 100% shift. It's going to be a multiplication of 100. Okay, well, actually, we're going to basically divide it by 100. So anyway, you can take a high or low price. Anyone will do. Just to prove that it's not just the major highs, we're going to take the second biggest high of the day. So let's say that you don't like you think this is so extreme, or like you think this is that you doubt this works. I'm not going to use this one. Let's just try using this one right here. I believe that's the highest price in this little area. Yep. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the high price there is 78.12. So we're going to take the square root of 78.12. Okay, and we're going to add 1. We're going to resquare it. And now we're going to get a time value. Okay? Actually, hold on. That's not going to be the same day. So this one would have to be minutes, because otherwise we'll have to go 10 hours in the future, which I guess we could, but considering this is just one stock. But this one we won't actually be able to do a 10% shift yet, but we could do 96 minutes in the future. Okay, so we're going to go, oh wait, sorry, that's from the wrong time. Oh no, it's not. 6:59 a.m. Okay, so we're going to go that far in the future. We're going to get 8:35 a.m. So hopefully 8:35 a.m. is a good buy point. Okay, so 8:35 a.m. It would have been a good buy point, but it looks like that one didn't work out. Okay, so anyway, let's see what the next cycle does. I think that's because I did it in minutes. So once we get up to base 10, above base 10, we're going to be able to shift the decimal, right? Yep. Okay, so this is going to be 1.117, but I said we're going to divide it by 100, so we're going to do 1.17 hours later. We're going to get 8:09 a.m. So 8:09 a.m. should be a decent reversal. Okay, so as you can see, it's about a minute off of the high right here. It's a minute off this major high, so it would have been a good time to try to go short. Okay, so we'll put a red marker for that. Would have been a good time to short. Okay, now we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go back, +1, resquare. Okay, so we're going to get 1.4 hours later, right? Got to shift the decimal by a factor of 100. 8:23 a.m. Now, as you can see, it actually caught that low. Now, that doesn't mean that price is just guaranteed to run up right afterwards, but as you can see, it caught a low. Okay, so you're going to have to do your own math to figure out where to sell that low. But if you had bought right at that minute, price would have gone in your favor by several dollars, right? So, because the point of this methodology is to prove that it's calling highs and lows, and that's how you become a profitable trader, is picking tops and bottoms. Okay, resquared. 1.64 hours later. 8:37 a.m. Let's see where that goes. Okay. because since the previous one was a bottom, this next one should be a top. So if we go to 8:37 a.m., as you can see, if you had shorted the stock at 8:37 a.m., it would have gone down several dollars again, back in your favor, right? Calling a top is surprisingly accurate, actually. Okay, so we're going to go +1, resquare, 1.915 hours later, 8:53 a.m. Okay. Now it looks like the cycle has inverted, because you would have thought this is a buy, but actually it became another high to short from. So now the cycle has inverted, and we know that sometimes the cycle, after a long enough time, eventually it inverts, right? So, okay, there you go. 13 plus 1, resquare it. 2.201 hours in the future from 6:59 a.m. is 9:11 a.m. Okay. Looks like it has now called another top. So that's 3 tops in a row. I don't know the math behind that, but clearly, I don't know why it doesn't show 9:11. It just skips to 9:12, but whatever. The data is a little bit spotty on TradingView sometimes. But again, remember, that's pre-market. So, but again, it's still calling pivots. It should have been this should have been a bottom, and then this should have been a bottom, but they weren't. They both were tops. Or for whatever reason, that's the case. But at least it's telling you when a pivot's going to happen, right? Okay, now, but that is strange. That's the first time I've actually ever seen it do do 3 tops in a row. That's very interesting. So we're going to add another one, resquare it. Now we're going to get 2.5085 hours in the future. Now I would hope this one would be a low, but it might not be. Who knows? Okay, and maybe it's because you're on the lower time frames that it's more chaotic, so it's harder to decide whether it's going to be a top or bottom, but it'll still call a pivot. So anyway, 9:29 a.m. Yep, looks like it was another top, but look how accurate this is. 9:29 a.m., another top. So it's called 4 tops in a row. I don't know why it's not alternating correctly, but again, at least it's telling you this is a top, right? Could have made a massive short right at the open, right? That's like $3 in your favor, okay? Anyway. +1, resquare. Okay, 2.83 hours later. 9:49 a.m. Okay, this one looks like it has gone smack dab in the middle of a cycle. So, yeah, you probably would have tried to buy at that point. Might not have worked out for you, but the price did go higher within a short amount of time, so you still could have technically sold for profit, even though it went against you a bit. If you held through some drawdown, you could have sold at target. Anyway, they're not always going to be perfect, but as you can see, they often are perfectly calling a top or bottom. In this case, more tops than bottoms. 3.182 hours in the future is 10:09 a.m. Now, I would guess this one's going to be a bottom. Yep, and look at that. One minute off the bottom, actually 55, so it's basically 10:10 a.m., right? It's 5 seconds off 10:10, so it's actually closer to this, and as you can see, calls a perfect bottom yet again. Okay? So this is really how stocks work. This is literally the secret to the stock market. It's not a lot more complicated than this. Okay, 3.5489 hours later will be 10:32 a.m. basically. And this one's a bit off. You honestly probably would have tried to buy there, and it looks like I mean, obviously realistically it was, because it was pointing 10:31, but 10:32 because I rounded up. But I think it had missed this one by a few minutes, which is going to happen. You know, it is what it is. But at that point, you might have thought that's a swing low and gotten, you know, you would have lost on that trade. But if you had somehow been able to correctly deduce that it was actually off this top by about 2-3 minutes, and you'd known to short, then, you know, that would have been good. Also, the fact that it did 2 bottoms, or well, this one not for sure, but the previous one was a bottom, so you might have tried to guess the next one being a top. So maybe you would have shorted from there, in which case you would have been correct, but not the best signal. Let's go to the next cycle. And look how I'm doing this all off of one cycle. I didn't need to keep readjusting it. I can if I want to, and you're going to get times that are maybe slightly different or very close to these ones, but okay. So it looks like 10:55 a.m. is going to be the next buy. And it's actually a very good buy. It's pretty much a swing low. However, price did go a bit lower than that, but actually that was low of day. So that right there basically was pointing to this and this, but right in the middle of these two swing lows is right here, which is what happens sometimes with these cycles. It goes like an M shape or a W shape if it's a high, and it'll go right in the middle of a double, like a double bottom essentially. But yeah, that basically called the low of day. So as you can see, it's not always perfect, but if you really look at it and understand that it isn't always perfect, but sometimes it is, often it is. But as you can see, it's basically calling tops and bottoms all throughout the day. Just from literally from the value of this high price right here, you are getting tops and bottoms throughout the day. So not all of them are perfect. And I'm sure you guys know as traders that you don't have to win every single trade to be a profitable trader. So you have to figure out your risk reward and all that. But if this is helping you pick tops and bottoms, it's going to greatly help whatever trading strategy you're already trying to use, or whatever risk reward profile you're trying to use. You know, if these things are calling swing highs and swing lows, it's doing like 50% of the work for you in terms of trading, maybe even more, like 75% of the work for you. You know, the other 25% of the work is going to be when it misses a top or bottom, you know, and figuring out where are you taking profit and where's your stop loss, right? That's the work you have to still figure out. But this is telling you when the top or a bottom has a high probability of occurring. So again, that's like 60, 70, 75% of the work. The other 25% is just risk management. And you're going to have to do some stat crunching to know what the best risk reward is. But totally up to you. You can play around with it a bit, and you know, I'm sure it's not too difficult to make any sort of risk reward work with this, because you could scalp at a level, you could go for a home run at a level, you could go for more of a 1-to-1, and I'm sure that you'd have a high enough win rate with any of those to probably make this kind of thing profitable, right? So it's just up to you, and how good of a statistician you are. You can determine which of those three approaches will work the best, or when one of those will work better than the other two. But I would say it's probably safe when you're starting off to go for somewhere near a 1-to-1, and then just trying to go for a win rate that's above 50%, like trying to go for a 55-60% win rate. With something like this, honestly, you could be hitting probably a 70% win rate with a 1-to-1. But yeah, anyway, totally up to you. So just one example. I just used one day. I used one high in that day. I didn't even use the highest high. And we were able to deduce from that one number, we were able to pick most of, with probably an 80% degree of accuracy, most of the pivotal swings throughout the day that a day trader who's getting in and out of trades would be very keen on knowing, right? So really big, guys, really big. So anyway, I think this video has been long enough. I hope this helps you in your trading journey, and I'll see you guys next time.